For the duration of our video, the interior plains will be labeled as the green shading with the blue outline. The interior plains of Canada have geological features such as flatlands, rolling hills, and grasslands. They are formed from soils carried by rivers from the Canadian Shield, which were deposited at their edge. The deposits then form the distinct geological features in the interior plains. The plains cover Alberta, the bottom half of Saskatchewan, the southwest corner of Manitoba, and the central northwest territories. Inside the interior plains, there are a variety of ecosystems such as the prairies, boreal plains, taiga plains, and the southern Arctic.
North America's first humans migrated from Asia, presumably over a now submerged land bridge from Siberia to Alaska sometime about 12,000 years ago during the last ice age. First Nations have lived on the plains for thousands of years. Saulteaux, Cree, Blackfoot are three major groups. The yellow dots on the map represent some of the major Aboriginal settlements.
Animals before human settlement occurred originally inhabited the interior plains. If you flash forward to when Europeans arrived in the plains, they were able to cooperate with First Nations people and were able to create the pemmican trade. Buffalo hunting was very prominent and the main way of obtaining food.
An overwhelming number of Europeans, represented by the green arrow, eventually caused the people of the plains to slowly retreat into their reserves. The Europeans bordered with their Aboriginals with more advanced technology that they did not have, such as guns, weapons, and tools. Settlement of the prairies began soon after. Geographically, the plains are still similar to a couple of thousand years ago. Modernizations of plain areas include urban structures and energy plants, such as these coal-burning power plants, natural gas power plants, and the Athabasca oil sands, which is represented by the square.
First Nations people went to where the food was. Large herds of buffalo indicated where the people would follow. They were nomadic. Since the plains were flat and non-mountainous like BC, people could freely move around in the summer and find adequate shelter in the winter. Also, the flat geography meant that people could easily get lost. First Nations people relied on the stars to guide them in a lack of physical features on the land.
After Europeans came to the plains, huge amounts of land were developed for agriculture, as shown by the yellow shading. Permanent settlements and large towns were built, which are marked by pushpins. The amount of wild grass proved to be a hindrance to the Europeans, who were not used to bushwhacking. Lots of grain was grown, and people started to stay in one place due to agriculture. The extremely cold weather from the Arctic caused the movement of the peoples to come to a standstill in the modern times, since the First Nations people are isolated in their reserves.
The interior plains have two major industries, agriculture and mining. Each city in the interior plains offers its own unique industries, services, and resources. Yet it is important to discuss major industries found within this landscape.
First of all, the agriculture industry is very important. Crops such as wheat, barley, oat, flax, canola, mustard, potatoes, corn, and sugar beets are grown. Farmers also raise cattle, pigs, poultry, and etc. Both the crops and livestock produced in this area feed many Canadians as well as others around the world.
Moreover, the agricultural industry is also linked with promoting the tourism industry. Many rodeos, stampedes, and agricultural shows are held throughout this region for all to enjoy. The mining of fuel products like oil, natural gas, coal, potash, copper, zinc, gold, and uranium is crucial. Here Canadians take these resources that lie below the plains and around them and refine or make these resources into other products that all Canadians need on a daily basis.
Lastly, many of the forests and low mountain areas found in the plains are harvested for the lumber industry or else admired for the tourism industry. The resources found in the interior plains are transported across Canada to other regions.
Since the majority of the interior plains are flat, trains, pipelines, trucks, and planes easily accommodate transportation of goods and services. The train stations and routes are represented on the map by blue dots and black and red lines respectively. Put together, the interior plains supply a very important link for all Canadians and their economic development.
Since the interior plains are very flat and do not have many trees on them, it is relatively easy to develop new industrial icons. In the future, new power plants or perhaps even cities may spring up, since more and more immigrants keep arriving, but the main cities are starting to become overcrowded.
We also looked at the population density compared to the average household income. Looking at the map, it can be seen that the interior plains are largely not very inhabited, except for the major cities down south. Looking at the average income of the people inhabiting the interior plains, it can be seen that higher incomes are generally around the power plants, where there are jobs available.
Thanks for listening to our presentation, and we hope you learn a little something about the interior plains of Canada.